What's up, DIYers? If you don't know, DIYers is do it Yahwehers. That's what we're doing. We're waiting on God, and we're doing our part, but we know that God is going to do it, and we try to do it His way. All right. You are tuned in to Unfinished. We're here. Unfinished the podcast. It's been a journey. We were supposed to start the beginning of this year, January 1st, and my household has been hit. I mean, hit, y'all. You know how they say if you're gonna do something good, the devil will try to stop you. I I believe it wholeheartedly. Like I believe it 100%. We have dealt with the flu twice. I had flu A and B at one time, and then 2 weeks later had flu A. We had a real bad rain. I mean, it rained and rained and rained. Like I understand the situation with Noah a little bit better because of the rain that we got, but my basement ended up flooding, and I had to fix all of that and dry all that out and make sure there wasn't no mildew or mold or anything like that. So I mean, it's a process, y'all. It has been a process, but I feel like God is still telling me to get this thing done, and that's what we're gonna do. Do I know where it's gonna go? Do I know what we're gonna do? Not exactly, right? So first, let's just talk about the whole podcast, the name, how all of this came about. Today is just gonna be like that. That's what we're gonna talk about today. So unfinished. Um, Unfinished was a thought in my mind after watching another podcast. I was watching, so I felt, let's get it right. So I felt like God was asking me or pushing me toward doing a podcast. Podcasts are everywhere, but I really never have time to do anything. I have a lot of podcasts on my mind, but I never have time to do anything. I got a wife, I got 5 daughters. I'm trying to build a business. Like, COVID smacked one business out, so we working on another one. So it's just been it's been something, man. I mean, it's been something. It's been something that has pushed me to believe and give um, a lot more of the pressure that's on me on God. Give it to him. But my wife, when she saw me working on going through this process, she gave me a couple of people to check out. She loves the Perry's podcast. And I really like Preston Perry. I think he's super brave because he goes out and he speaks on behalf of Christianity. And you don't see people doing that all the time. You got Jehovah Witnesses and Muslims and Nation of Islam, Hebrew Israelites. You got all those people on the street hollering and stuff, but you don't really hear Christians raising their voice and speaking on God and Jesus's behalf. So I think he's super brave. I love that guy. Like he's my brother, even though I never met him. Um, Mike Todd. I like Mike Todd because he lets me know I need to youngen up, right? Like I act too old. I gotta youngen up because we're not ancient, right? Like life will make you feel like you're old. Technology will make you feel like you're old. We not old. Like you talk to a 70 or 80-year old and they'll say, man, you just a baby. So we have to just live and be a younger mindset, right? Um, I stopped listening to secular music in October. So we're working on like 5 months now with no secular music. I'm not against secular music, but it's just not good for me and my vibe. I've really been about that, so I don't need to hear nothing about that. So that's how I feel about that. Like I don't need to hear. I don't want to watch no documentary about no drug lords and nothing like that. If we want to watch documentaries, we can cut the TV off and we can go. We can make some calls and we can be that. So that's nothing that I want to be around or look at or none of that, right? So I've been making changes like that. Um, um, Ty Tribbett, I like him. I always say his name wrong, so now I'm messing up his name. It's either Ty Tribbett or Ty Tribbett. But wherever way I say it, my wife always says I said it wrong, and now I can't remember which way is the right way to say it. But yeah, um, I love his worship is amazing, right? D1 Music, I love him and 1K Few. I love listening to him. Lecrae, like I love listening to that, but like Ty Ty Tribbett, Ty Tribbett, his music is just it gets here, right? It's like Kirk Franklin gave us an oasis, and he gave us a beat to bop to when I was younger. And it's like Ty just said, okay, let's take that, and let's ball it up, and let's make it bigger, like a snowball effect. So I really, really enjoy that guy. Mike Todd. Really, really like Mike Todd, man. Mike Todd is a beast. What's my man's name? Oh man, Kev on Stage. He's another one that's my brother. He don't know, but he is. Joker just goes and gets it. He's a go-getter. He's a hustler. He's a Christian, and he just doesn't mind saying that and being who he is. So I really rock with him. And Tim Ross. Tim Ross is another one who is just like refreshing when it comes to Christianity and husbandhood and fatherhood and all that good stuff. He's just a good. That's my circle, right? I don't know none of them. It's funny because your daughters they think you're just the most amazing person in the world when you're a good father. So they're like, Dad, why don't you call them and then y'all can just hang out and then you be friends. And I'm I'm like right now they're like mentors for me, and it's getting me to step outside of my box, out of my comfort zone, and everything else will happen when it happens. But I was watching Tim Ross, The Basement, right? If you don't watch The Basement, I don't know, man. I don't know what's up with you, but you're missing out. So I'm watching The Basement, and I see him. He's 10 years older than me, but we actually got baptized the same year. In 96, the love that he has for his wife, I relate, right? The love he has for his children, I relate. He has 2 boys. I got 5 girls. But the love that we share for our family and that they're first is amazing. So I really like him for that. I like how he makes the Bible simple and plain. So I'm watching The Basement, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, The Basement, like, I actually was in my basement when he was doing it, and I was in the part that's unfinished. And I'm like, I would have The Basement, but mine would be called The Unfinished Basement. Because even though if you ask him, he's so humble, he'd be like, I'm not finished. I know none of us are not finished, but I'm so unfinished. I'm so unpolished trying to get to this walk, trying to get to this level of peace and love and forgiveness, and I'm just like getting there. So I'm unfinished. So that's what I thought. I said, okay, I'm unfinished. So if we had a full name, it would be The Unfinished Part of The Basement. But since that's too many words, we just gonna be unfinished. All right. So that's where the name came from, Unfinished. I lost my cousin late last year, and I saw him in hospice. And my cousin had dealt with being addicted. He really hadn't been who I'd known since he was 18 and I was like 15, 14, right? And he was in hospice, and I was blessed that he was in hospice near me. I was the closest family member, so I went to see him almost every day. Like I was going to see him as much as I could, and just sitting and talking with him and stuff like that, and telling him it was okay. And I watched him not eat for like 19 days and get skinnier and skinnier. And what I couldn't understand why he was still here. I'm like, why are you still here? Like, why won't you let go? In my mind, if I was him, I would let go. He had 2 beautiful daughters, but he wasn't really in their life. He didn't really get to be their dad. And they're adults now. It's like he dropped the ball. And I just think about myself, and I'm like, if I didn't have these girls, and my body had been going through these drugs for so long, I would just let go. Bye, peace. And the Holy Spirit told me, he said, see, that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. You think that unfinished is because you need to fix your basement up. You think that unfinished is because you need to work on not cussing or work on this or work on that. the will to finish what God put in you is so strong that when we see this man and we know he's obviously dying, he didn't feel that way. He was unfinished. He still had more to do. And I'm going to get through this episode without getting teary-eyed. I never have been somebody to cry, and then God gave me 5 daughters. And they each just broke me down. They each just chiseled away the stone. Now I'm just as round as I can be. You know what I mean? But it was just really an awakening to see it and understand, yo, when God has something for you to do, God put us all here for a reason. And sometimes when we're sick, sometimes when we're dying, sometimes when we aren't able to get those drugs that we've been using to self-medicate, we remember our mission. The closer we get to heaven, I think the closer we get to that side, we remember our mission. We come back to who we were. We come back to more spirit and less flesh. And my cousin, in his eyes, at one time he only had one eye he could see out of. And when I would come in, he wouldn't respond to nobody. I'd come in and say, yo, it's your cousin, it's Evan. He tried to sit up. The doctor saying he ain't doing nothing, he ain't eating nothing. I come in, he tries to sit up. And he'll look at me in his eye, with that eye, he'll look at me. And that eye had so much life in it. That eye was trying to tell me so much. And sometimes all he could get out was just but he was trying his best to talk to me and to tell me something, man. Because he wasn't finished. I don't want that for anybody, but I'm selfish. I don't want that for me. I want to finish. I want to complete. Hey, Vin. Sarai? One of my beautiful daughters. Hello? Hey, V. Rye. Let me say cookie and everybody gonna come. Let me say dessert. Let me say snack. And I'm gonna have everybody flooding down here. The TV must be too loud upstairs. I wanted to get my Bible. I'm about to come back. I'm about to, this is just gonna be, this is a quick one. We're gonna get into the real episode. So this is just giving us an idea of what we're gonna expect on Unfinished, the podcast, all right? We have a mission. We have a job. And if that job is something that doesn't glorify God, we're on the wrong mission. We're on the wrong job. If what you're doing is taking people from being a believer, you probably on the wrong job. Because God put something, he put you here for a reason. The biggest thing I've taken from the Bible right now, and there's so many things, but I started from Genesis, and this is part not in Genesis, and I'm in Exodus now. That shows you how young and how new I am at this thing. And mind you, I got baptized in '96, raised in the church, mother, Sunday school teacher, usher boy, choir, all of that good stuff. And then I had some lost years in there. About 18 to 25, I had some lost years in there. I had about 7 of them, 7 lost years. And then my first daughter, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. And God just told me, I can't give you everything. If I give you everything, you'll never praise me. So, the way we're living, many people may be envious, but it's not enough for me. I want more for me. I want more for my babies. I don't like to ever say no, even if they're asking for something crazy. Dad, I'm 16. I want a Tesla. I just feel like they deserve for me to be like, oh, you want a Tesla? Well, just add another car to the list. It'll be here on Friday. And you can say what you want. I got girls. I don't want no boy to come in and be the one giving us stuff, to be able to give us stuff that I ain't never gave her. So what can you do? You got to push yourself. You got to figure this thing out. So I want more, and God knows that. And he said, I'm not going to allow you to be able to give your wife more, to be able to give your kids more. Because if I give you that ability, you'll never praise me. You're going to think you did it all on your own. Because I don't deserve to be here. Nothing about my life from 18 to 24, 25 says I deserve to be here with a beautiful wife and beautiful girls that's doing so many things. One is at a is cheering at a game right now, and she 11th grade. She's already got all her credits for high school. Now she's taking college classes. I got a middle schooler that loves golf, is directing the school play this year, and they told me that she was going to be autistic and never be on grade level. I'm going to cry. I sat there and had a doctor tell me when she was 3 that she would never be on grade level. She'll probably never be able to really just be able to be with her peers. That little girl's student council. That little girl's honor roll. That little girl is everything. And I remember at a restaurant with my family, and we're sitting there and we're eating, and it's something happening. I think she just came out of the bathroom and the toilet flushed, and you should scare her to death. And I think somebody was talking to her and she just was not responding at all. And I remember I went in that bathroom of that restaurant, it may have been Outback, and I cried like a baby because I'm the fixer. I'm the protector. I'm the changer, and there's nothing I could do. And that's when I started learning how to pray. That baby's 13 now. That's when I started learning how to pray. And at 5, we got her ears checked. At 5, we got her ears checked. And they put tubes in her ear. And I just never let up. I felt like I was so mean. Everybody else was so, baby, or baby, baby. And I'm like, I only had 2 girls at the time. I don't have no sons. This world ain't made for little black girls. I can't leave a little black girl here and she not be the strongest I could ever make her. So I was so tough on her. If I could number the times that we sat up there at that table doing homework and cried, she'll cry and then I'll cry later because I was so upset I had to be so tough on her. And now I don't even help her with her homework. She kills it. She'll tell me, "Oh, Dad, I turned in that project yesterday." I'm like, "What project?" "Oh, Dad, I tried out for the play. I got this role." "What? You didn't even tell me. I wanted to practice with you." Like, I'm that parent. I want to be involved. My kids are so independent. Then I have a 7-year-old who is 7 going on 17. She is just like my oldest, reincarnated. And when I tell you, that girl is such an athlete. I'm not big on my kids being athletes, but this one is going to make me allow her to be an athlete because she is so strong-minded. And she, like, if we're late for school and I'm trying to get her to her classroom, we're going to be later because she's in elementary. Every student that sees her is going to talk to her and hug her. Every teacher is going to talk to her. Hey, this is, hey, this, that, hey. I mean, everyone, the girl walks in like a TV show, like Clueless or something. Like, hey, what's up, Johnny, Mike. It's crazy, but she's a people person. Savannah, she's 6. That's my 4th daughter. She's just like my 13-year-old, reincarnated. Like God gave us 2. And then he gave us 2 of the replica. Just such a sweet soul. Speak soft like this. But if her sister's playing basketball, she's like, I'm going to play basketball too. If her sister's playing soccer, hey, Dad, I kind of want to play soccer too. She's not scared of nothing. She's not scared of nothing. She's sweet as she can be. All my girls are fearless. It's amazing. And I'm not trying to raise tough girls. I'm raising strong women. Ain't no boy about us. We girls here. Like, these are girls. They're gonna find a man that's strong and does and tough and all of that, but compassionate and loving, right? But I'm not trying to make no girls no men. I'm trying to make girls amazing, strong, educated, brave women. Women are so strong. Then I got this little young thing that's a year and a half, and she's a Taurus like me. Daddy's down here. And she's a Taurus like me. And wow, she's a bull. Like, she is something. We don't know what she's gonna do yet, but having 4 big sisters that are amazing, we can only imagine. I do kind of have a rule where you're gonna be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, and then you can do whatever you want to do fun. But these kids going to college, and they're gonna be something. They're gonna have something on paperwork, and like I tell them, if you upset with me, you can cry in a luxury car, because it's gonna be crying anyway. If you're coming down here, can you bring my Bible? Okay. That's Haven. She's gonna find me, because you're gonna find me all the time. I gotta hurt you. I find you, so I told you where you were. Looking for you. So I'm gonna wrap it up in a minute because they're looking for me. It's just me. Mommy had to go somewhere. But just my red one. It should be in the living room. But I'm sorry. I've got off track. Talking about my daughters, I've just got off track. But that was important to me. If we want to go a little bit deeper and know about me, husbandhood, fatherhood, manhood, brotherhood. Those are the 4 hoods that I rep. And I rep the heck out of them. If you my brother, if you're somebody I call a friend, I got you. My wife, before I was really into this to this God and this Holy Spirit and this Christ thing, that was my religion. That's my religion. My children, they saved my life. I owe them my life. Manhood, that's so my mom and my daddy and my grandma and my grandpa and my aunts and my uncles can be proud. That's me. In a nutshell, that's me. 2 months ago, No Shave November is when I started, as you can see. And I just decided, hey, I'm not going to just not shave. And I've got some haircuts and stuff, but at the time, but I'm going to cut a lot of stuff out. We no shave, no drink, no smoke, no meat, no, I mean, we knowing a lot of stuff. No getting angry, no letting anything that is going on outside the house come in the house. No allowing your temper to win. My flesh don't win no more. And I mean that on the outside of this house, because I'm an aggressive person. I'm convinced that a lot of things that people talk about, and I'm a good Christian because if someone wants to smack me, I would turn the other cheek. It's because you're scared. That's why you would turn the other cheek. I'm not scared. So it's a little bit harder for me to say I'm going to turn the other cheek, but that's what I'm working on, right? Now, if you slap my children or my wife, but I'm saying if you come at me disrespectfully, I've got to learn how to let that go. That's what I'm working on. But I rededicated my life like 2 or 3 months ago, 2 months ago. Really, I did it whenever I was cutting out secular music, but I was just listening to the Holy Spirit. I didn't know where it was going. And finally, it was just like face down, crying in a room by myself. I give up. Can you lead me, God? Can you give me the answers? And that's when it really started. And just reading the Bible every day, just trying to be different. Y'all, do y'all know 3 of my daughters, just from that, decided that they wanted to get baptized? And it was just amazing because my oldest had to have been with me, been with me the longest. That makes sense mathematically, but she knew the old guy. The other ones heard about him, but she knew him. She seen the friends, and I cut friends off. I don't wife and kids versus friends that wasn't really my friends. I talked about my brotherhood, but I'm talking about the ones that wasn't really my friends. The ones that was just against what I was against, so they was for what I was for, but they was never for me. Cut them off. Bye. Okay, see ya. That wasn't hard for me. I cut that off simple. And my wife said I can cut people off. I still mourn you, but I know I have importance. I have a hierarchy in my life of what's important. So if there's something that's more important than you and you could taint that, you're gone. You're done. Hey, baby, can't find it?
No.
Did you look under in the living room in the little cabinet thing?
Yeah. There's no books on there.
And you didn't just see it on the on a chair? You didn't just see it on the chair?
Never checked the chairs.
So where was you looking?
Everywhere.
No, look in the living room. Just it's in one of the chairs. I was reading it this morning. Yeah, so my oldest decided first, and then my middle one, and then so my high schooler, and then my third grade elementary, and then my seventh grade middle. That's the order that they decided. Hey, I want to get baptized too. And we didn't make them. My second grader, that's like my third grader's Irish twin. Daddy, I ain't getting that water. I said, okay, when you ready, you'll get in there. But I had never been more proud of them because they were choosing, and they understood they were choosing to join and jump into a battle. They were choosing to separate themselves from the world. And my oldest is just in the era where the world is fun, right? So I hear my baby crying. I'm just saying that as a man, we have to lead. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm listening. So in order to really lead, you have to follow. For me to lead my family, I got to follow Christ. And he told me to do Unfinished the podcast, and that's why we're here. Thank you, love.
What are you doing?
I'm about to come right up, okay?
What are you doing?
I'm just talking to some people, doing a little recording. But I'll come up. Y'all can go ahead and have 2 Oreos apiece. Not you, because you already had cookies. You can have 1 Oreo, and they can have, Vanna can have 2, so I know she can have whatever. And maybe give April like a 1/4 of a Oreo, of a oatmeal cookie. Is that what you was eating?
Yes.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
No, it's not. It's the most delicious thick cookie on earth.
Give her a 4 for that one, okay?
Okay.
I'll be up in a second.
The fourth of the piece.
A 1/4 is half of a half.
So one of the 4ths I cut.
Yep, perfect.
You
cut the cookie into 4s, and that's how you get a 4th, because it's 4 pieces.
What about the other 4s?
Leave the other 3. Eat them. Get
Yes!
out of here. That's what you were saying the whole time. All right, I'm about to go, and we really are going to have a real podcast. Maybe this is a real podcast when we just talking, and I'm just telling y'all about me and what's going on. But the whole goal is for this to be a place where we're working on ourselves. And we're not doing it yourself, because you can't do it yourself. There's only one person that can do it, and that's God. So we are DIYers, but it's do it Yahwehers. We're going to give him all the praise and all the glory, and try our best to work together to be closer to him. So that's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing. That's what Unfinished is about. I hope it is something that is beneficial, and that we can grow together and hold each other accountable together. That was one of the most important things that I realized, was that this book is the rules and regulations for a Christian. If you're sitting there and you're fussing with somebody who's not a Christian, you're nuts. It's not their rule and regulation yet. You can tell them about it. You can try to persuade them, but don't waste your breath too much. There's too many Christians that we got to work with and figure this thing out. Too many people that want to be better Christians that we got to work with and figure this thing out. So that's it, man. Unfinished the podcast. I had it set up where we were going to be in the unfinished part and you would see the background and realize it was unfinished and my washer and dryer was here and this and that. And God was like, man, sit down and do this. Sit down and do the podcast. And today I'm like, well, I can't do it today because I got the 4 girls and then and I got to be there. And he was like, man, do 5 minutes, do 10 minutes. We mess around and hit 30 minutes, y'all, of me just running my mouth. I hope I ain't bore you. But I can promise you that prayer works. It's amazing when people really don't. There's a certain people that met me after a certain time that could never believe that I was living in that other time. Grace and mercy. It'll cover you, and people won't believe your story. People won't believe your story, yo. But as Paul says, I die daily. Guys, I tell my daughters when they go to school, go out there and die. Die today. Somebody say something rude to you. Somebody cut you off. Somebody do something and you want to get them back and you my child, so you know how to, and you don't. You let your flesh die from that. You swallow that. And you crucify your flesh because your flesh wants to get them back. The devil wants you to get him back so he can say, see, now you feel bad, don't you? You just got baptized and now you're talking to people like that. So that's what we're working on every day. And they know daddy's working on it too. And driving a car, I have, you believe it or not, I have road rage. I've been known to have road rage. I lived in New Jersey. We was up in North New Jersey for about 2 years. My wife is from that area. And I think that's what really festered, if that's the word, my road rage. It really balled it up and put it in one spot. And it cultivated it. We're going to use words that I may not. I was a math major in college. So we're going to use some words that I don't really know probably. And if my wife is ever on here, she'll shut it down because she's so wordy. But I think I know what the words mean, but sometimes they don't come out. But you'll get, if you use context clues, you'll know what I meant for them to be. And if we go live, just type in the real word. I don't mind being corrected. I don't. The same way with a song. I will sing a song on here. I'll get the spirit to hit me, and I'll sing a song. I can't sing, and I don't know no real words. I don't know no lyrics. I know what it sounds like it should be, but it's usually not it. So we'll get to know each other, y'all. We will. Hi, my name is Evan Dixon, and I'm unfinished. And I'm a DIYer. Do it, Yahweh. My wife just texted me that she's safe. She knows she texts me that she's safe because if not, I immediately think that somebody has kidnapped her. I'm the kid. I'm the dad that's in the shower, and I'm like, what's that noise? And in my mind, they have tied up all the children, and now they just took my wife in the back room. And I got to get out that shower and make sure everybody stays alive. Pray for me, y'all. I'm a provider and I'm a protector, and I get nervous about things. They're so important to me, right? So this is first episode, Unfinished the podcast. It's in the books. Whether you like it or not, this is where it's at. Whether I like it or not, I'm going to post it. And we got to just move forward from here. All right? I hope I wasn't all over the place. I didn't have no notes. I was just talking to my DIY crew. If we go live, you can talk back to me too. All right?